It's a long story to get to. I have 6 damaged ligaments between my C1 and C2, and my superficial back line ripped and retracted from here and folded over on itself. And so it sits like this and sucks one ear into the other. To the extreme, it feels like I have an internal partial decapitation from my right side of my C2 to the left side where it is knotted up. Structural fascia that is being pulled from this side to this side. It's just all wound up. And the normal tension patterns in everyone's head is not the same underneath my skin. It feels as if daily have to fight through the constant tug of war that goes on inside my head. It feels like it's being wound up, like I'm pantomiming over a song that has copyright on it, so I'm just doing a voiceover. But that's what it feels like. It feels like my whole left side wants to, with the shoulder, wants to cave in on itself, and then if you scoop the neck like that, I gotta work it out a little bit, but I can get it to scooch up and go into place. To fight through all of this while also having to fight for a job and fight for money and fight for the will to wake up every day, let alone have something that no one can see or most don't believe could happen be happening. But there's that right there between the eyes is the original scar that is not connected to the nasal passageways even. And the elasticity right there is what I'm saying is what fascia is. Super connected to everything, right? That's one of the reasons I think people have a hard time with this, because what? Which I get. But if I didn't feel every last godforsaken moment of it, I wouldn't be talking about it. I sure wouldn't make it up. My life's done nothing but get worse since. So if I'm doing a con, I'm the only one getting con. Question from the comments, can they remove the excess skin or give you a surgery? I think they can, except I don't know what is excessive, because this is your spinal column, and this is where the spine and all of the fascia in your body connects to your brain. The fascia being your nervous system, while also being the connectivity tissue between the skin, muscles, and skulls and bones. I was in a car accident when I was 17. The doctor who tied me together on that fateful Sunday morning, that doctor said, I tied some things together. I tied some things together that don't go together. That'd be your superficial backline of fascia, the muscles, facial expression, but you'll be fine. And I was fine. I was fine. I was fine. I was fine for 20 years. But then I messed up. That's the hard thing. I messed up. I was given a second chance in life. Threw it away. Just like all the doctors would say, they go, oh, that can't be. That's from 20 years ago. What's that got to do with anything? And that's what I thought too. But the doctor who sewed me together, he said, never go parachuting. And I did. And he spun me around. Thank you. I wish it was fake. But every day I got to wake up. I was asked to be the best man. You're the best man. Look at me, I'm the best man. Best man, would you be my best man? I'm the best man. I need a best man. It's tradition. And a wedding. We went skydiving. I tied some things together. Well, I was skydiving. My head filled with air. Air pressure times gravitational force times centrifugal force, and my surgery couldn't take it. The fascia tearing that I had, which went down this line, and then the head was filled with air, and it went flip-itty-doo-dah. Felt like a fruit roll-up, basically. But I think that's why this side is very clean and organized, because this side over here is all ragged and jagged because it ripped and tore in different ways that weren't as one solid piece as this side was. This all happened in seconds. It takes seconds to damage yourself and a lifetime to live through it. And then 8 months later, out of nowhere, we go to Vegas. It's another wedding. These people I don't know. I'm just attending the wedding. And walking back from La Perry to the Pink Flamingo on the main strip of Vegas. I like saying it like that now. Our group, we got jumped and beat up. And much like the sacrificial lamb I am, I went running into a place I shouldn't be running into at all. I shouldn't have ran into that place because I'm not a fighter. But I did. I ran right into that thing. Like, I had business, and I was going to say something like, hey, you guys, why don't you just stop it? Huh? Hey, let's cut this out, you guys. Let's get real for a second. But before any words came out of my mouth, I was hit by a gentleman I didn't even realize was fighting. He wasn't gentle. Let's face facts. Oh, look at me. I'm a king! This guy I did not realize, but they just had dudes just standing there waiting. And these two guys doing something over here, this guy. And there's somebody over here doing something, some people, this girl on a fence, just punching her, and she goes, it was not cool. But I thought I could go and talk to these fellas. I got dropped running full speed to help somebody being choked out by people that were playing a game that is not a game. It's a felony because I'm still suffering. But ultimately, it's called knockout, and they just knock everybody out that they can see that's around them. Don't care about the consequences of their actions. I was running as fast as I could, and then I was knocked out instantaneously. The guy, he punched me, and then with his foot, because he carried through with his momentum, he kicked my head and ripped my ear. Because that's where, when he kicked me when I was laying on my face, this is what ripped open, and this ripped off and was dangling. And when I got to the hospital, they snipped off, and they snipped off, and they sewed up, and she said, it's white stuff, and it's coming. I felt the trauma inside so distinctly in that moment. While I was on the operating table, I told my ex, I said, we should break up right now. My life's different. The old me is gone. I mean, I'm still going to be me, but it's going to be a new version of me that can't take care of you the way that I have been in the last 15 years, I don't know, however it was, but nevertheless, she waited too long for me, because I lost everything. Because the third doctor, continuing on with the story, did not listen to anything that I said. And when I asked him to, as he was about to do the surgery, I said, please, one last time, if you could just pull, when you do whatever you're going to do, you can just pull back the septum. I feel like you can pull it back. I feel like it'll happen. I wish everything had name tags on it inside our bodies, but they don't. So he didn't listen to me and didn't care and just went basically shove everything along your cheekbone and then push everything back. They did that on both sides, except my side, both sides were not balanced or even properly tension-wise laying on the table properly. I should have been things like that. At a certain point, I'm trying to work with a group of fellas and doing work and a construction type thing, which again, that's not me. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, how am I not myself? And I am not a construction worker. I construct sick beats. The guys I was working with, they loved them what they call sports, and I told them how I have 6 damaged ligaments between my C1 and C2, so it feels like my head is floating back and forth on my C2, like just this. And so I get super dizzy and all that stuff, and whole right side of my body will go numb. My face and my body is numb when I wake up. And so he was like, well, have you tried KT tape? And I said, no. On my head? And he goes, I don't know, on your neck? Yeah, on your head, whatever. I might have to shave off this lovely male patron baldness. So I started wearing tape on my head. And I could hear how my neck and my head would crack. And first, my ex acted like, or said she didn't hear it, and that I was crazy. But then when I couldn't stop cracking it because it gets me out of pain, oh, she has what they call misophonia. And then the lines start showing up. Then I got broke up with, or dismissed. She didn't want to live with me anymore. Now that I wasn't paying all the bills. The year before the pandemic, I sold my house, my forever home that was in my name, already paid off the interest, all that. And
side note, after losing my forever home,
I realized when all I want to do is create, get myself in a good mood, and share that mood with others, it is a bummer. I didn't want to ever move ever, and I ended up moving 1, 2, 3 times in 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and that's a nightmare for me. What happened? Oh, nothing.